Hey everyone, happy Monday to you. I hope all is well. I hope you had an amazing spring break. I hope you got whatever it is you needed to get done. Whether it was relaxing, getting caught up on work, combination of the two, whatever it is, right? So, welcome back, and it's time to get back at it, right? So, this week should be a super easy week for you because you did your smart recovery paper before you left for spring break, and now all it is your summary DB of your paper. So that should be an easy week this week. So as we wrap up smart recovery, let's kind of do a recap of the differences between your typical 12-step meetings, AA, NA, CA, versus SMART. SMART is the antithesis of AA or NA, right? Meaning, AA, if you remember, or just 12-step work in general, says that they believe in the medical model. You have a disease, a brain disease, it hijacks your brain. You admit powerlessness and unmanageability in your life. You come to these meetings and lean on the fellowship. You discover this higher power if you don't already have it. If you do, you really lean into that. You do this 12-step model where we take ownership of behavior and make amends to those we've harmed. And then, you continue to work with others and always looking at what they refer to as character defects. Now, I'm not crazy about that language, as you know. But that's we've already discussed all that. I'm not going to go hash that out again. But, SMART says, by very nature, we don't think you need to lean on the group. We think you can do this on your own, hence the title, Self-Management and Recovery Training. They use a basis of cognitive behavioral therapy. They're not on every corner like an AA or an NA meeting. In fact, their majority of them are online, and at least in our area here. They believe in using that cognitive behavioral work. They believe it's a thinking error, and you can identify irrational thinking and replace it with rational thought, changing your behavior. Look, I think both have merit. As we discussed before, if I come to a T in the road and to the right is drinking, to the left is not, or drug use or whatever, is that a choice or a disease that makes me turn? I believe it's a choice. That being said, one could very easily argue that if I have this disease that hijacks my brain, isn't that guiding my choices? Absolutely. That would be a great argument to make. But those are some of the differences. There's others, the labels, right? AA says I'm Dan, I'm an alcoholic. NA says I'm Dan, I'm an addict. SMART doesn't say any of that. So there's, look, remember this. I've said this about every group. They're all good groups. Every single one of them. They're just not always a good fit for your client. And whether I like a group or whether I vibe with a group or not is irrelevant, right, to what my client will vibe or like with, right, or vibe with, right? Because you're going to these groups to get the experience of how they operate, what their philosophies are, those kinds of things. If you don't like it, that's okay. There's lots of things I don't agree with many groups. But I would absolutely still send a client to. So keep that in mind. You have one more meeting to attend for this semester, and that's going to be in 4 more weeks. And that's going to be either a Celebrate Recovery meeting, which is a Christian-based 12-step program. Use the same 12 steps. They just, instead of saying higher power, they say God. And this is the biblical principles behind each step. We'll talk more about that as we get closer. And then you have a choice between that one or Refuge or Dharma, Recovery Dharma, it's called. Those are basically the same programs. They operate on Buddhist principles. So I look forward to that as we move forward. But in the meantime, you have that DB due on your smart recovery paper. Then we continue with, our normal DB quiz, DB paper. Routine. And so the next next quiz you'll have will be quiz 3 on chapter 32, the process of treatment. So we're staying in that treatment. We went co-occurring disorders, treatment settings. Now we're back to the process of treatment, and then relapse and other problems encountered in a treatment setting. That'll be your next DB, and that's a whole thing, I assure you. And then you're on to your Celebrate or Refuge paper. And then we wrap this up, right, with matching your clients to the appropriate support groups to promote and sustain long-term recovery. And then I think we have a reflection paper, and that's it. Like, you have like 6 assignments after this week in this cast, so it goes quick, guys. I look forward to a strong second half. Also, real quickly, I didn't mention this in the 1300 video, but I'll do the same. I'll put it up either way, is extra credit. I haven't really mentioned that a whole lot because really you guys have done such a great job. But I'm gonna put it up anyway. I put it up every year, every halfway point. There are 5 assignments. You can, if you're gonna do any of them, I would do number 4 because I think that's the most. I mean, they're all valuable, but I think that's one you'll use the rest of your career if you keep it and update it. It's a referral list. And look, remember, I've said time and time again, we're only as good as our referrals. I can't do everything. I don't want to do everything. I'm not good at everything. So keep that in mind. You don't have to do any. They're totally optional for you. So, just you can watch the little 6 or 7 minute video and check it out if you want to. I'll open them up. They'll be in Blackboard today. And guys, have a great week. And as always, if I could be of any support or any help, don't hesitate to reach out. We'll talk soon.